Yes, so Pax, I will just try to copy some links and we should be ready to fuck things up. Done. Oh yes, so 9.
I have arrived, it seems.
Yeah, it's we're waiting for the doctor. Let us see what I can do.
Well,
Oh, for fuck's sake!
he is on a mission.
Oh yeah,
Oh, a hand mission.
I think we are live.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good
evening.
afternoon. Good evening.
Good morning.
Salutations.
Salutations. You sound expensive today, 9.
Well, I've upgraded a few dollars since last time, so.
Yeah, the Spotify money are rolling in. I gather.
Oh, I mean, I'm just gonna open a PayPal for the world so I can just send them to everyone.
Yeah, it's like yeah, why not? I mean, it's hard to burn all that money, or the monies.
I mean, the only one that can burn money is King Lay, but that's another story.
It's a story which we should never tell.
But everyone should know that there exists a story.
There exists a story, and it's about how you can also act on tour.
Or yeah, and it might also be a reason to not do that again.
Yeah, and not go on tour, or maybe listen to advice on tour. I mean, there's shitloads of lessons to be learned, but that's life.
Yeah. Anyway, hello.
Hello, good to see you guys.
Good to see you.
Last Monday was a fucked up day. That was the day when I learned of LG's passing, and it was fucking awful. I didn't stream, didn't feel like it for many reasons, and I was just. There are other things to do than streaming also, especially when shit like that just, it really shook me. I have to admit it. Even though
It was really bad.
Yeah, we were not close. I am not a close friend of LG, but everybody in the Stockholm scene has met him
Yes.
tons of times, and it was just. I mean, we all knew he was not doing well, but that came as a shock for me.
Yes, it was an awful day, even for people who, do not know him personally or whatever. He's just a fucking goddamn legend that we have to thank for so many things, and just being an amazing person and everything. So fuck that, fuck cancer. Let's have a little maybe toast for him.
Wait a second. I can do some. Oh, fuck it. Let's not go media here. Okay, so first cheers to LG
Yes.
Petro.
Skål,
LG.
Skål LG.
Skål.
The true voice of the underground, if there ever was one.
Yep. Yeah, I mean the passing wasn't really coming as a surprise, but that doesn't make it easier either.
No. I have some friends who were really close with him, and they knew of it. They didn't know exactly which day, but they knew it was very, very imminent. But I wasn't that close, so I don't know. But it felt awful because out of all people, I think he was, the nicest person you can just run into in the Stockholm scene, and the furthest from, a douchebag rock star.
I don't think I ever heard like a bad. I mean, of course, everyone has a bad story, but I never heard someone speaking bad of Elge. It's always been, oh, he was super drunk, but it was very nice and very fun, and he's always happy to take pictures or say hello or have a beer. He was. He was the diva.
Yeah,
You could also, I mean, you could simply tell that he was a good guy just because he was hanging out at underground concerts like any little shit like me.
Yeah, and
Just, get around the town. Yes, listening to this completely unknown band in the shithole. There was he.
Yeah,
having fun together.
Yeah. I saw like a quote. I'm not sure if Elge said it or if somebody said it about Elge, but it doesn't matter. It said, "It's nice to be important, but it's even more important to be nice."
Ah,
Well, if I only could follow those words, but yeah,
Yeah, well,
it's. Oh well, but yeah.
you are neither important nor
nor nice.
That's,
No, exactly. We are
Yeah.
merely a cosmic viscera talking to two people on the internet.
Yeah, it sucks. But hello, also people in the chat, and I know I haven't really pushed this stream, with events and stuff, and I think I will steer things a little bit, gear it more towards YouTube and stuff in the future, just to make it a little bit more lightweight, and also, so we will do this whenever we feel like it, but if we do it, we'll do it Mondays 8 to 9, like today. And I really hope we can keep going, because now and then at least, because this is fun. This is something. At least for as long as the pestilence is killing everything fun, we need to do something else.
Yeah, and to have an excuse to drink on a Monday, to talk to you guys. It's
Yeah, exactly. And I am, of course, a heathen. My Guinness glass is in the. Well, it's used already, so I'm drinking from a cider glass. So Rage from Ireland is
speaking
pending.
of cider, look
Ooh.
what happened today.
Oh, ooh.
That's I feel so fancy right now. Look, I even got this long ass
a doctor.
flamboyant.
I might have started a new alcoholic wave in the shitty town called Vispo, because I bought that cider to my friend's wife when I came there, and she's
Right.
like, "Oh, I guess I drink this all the time now," and I know
Yes.
this because of you. So thanks.
You are welcome, and Camilla is also welcome. I hope she is actually gonna drink all the time, like literally all the time.
I mean,
Like
she
always.
hasn't stopped drinking since I left. While she was driving me to the station, she was drinking. Like,
My job is done.
Yeah. Finally, we have contributed to the successful lifestyle of someone. And we see Ilse, Dave, Sylvia, Patrick, Jane. Welcome, you guys who are here. Feel free to share the stream if you want to, involve other peeps as well. I am Nephente. I'm joined by this is Walter, and this is
Hello.
Nine, and Ferenc is here also. Like we said, we had like a moment's pause to have a salutation to Elge Petrov, mainly known as the singer of Entombed, who passed a little bit more than a week ago. Fucking sucks, dearly missed, and like you said, Nine, I think the only person in the scene that nobody seemed to have a negative opinion about, because everybody has opinion all the time. This is what constitutes a subculture, I guess, and a scene is that whatever. But he sort of
yeah.
He
I never heard anything bad, at least.
No.
Sure. He might have pissed someone off, but I never heard about it.
And that is rare in a scene where everybody has so much opinions about everything. That is rare. But if you're a nice guy and you don't throw shit around you, I guess people have less reason to hate you. Also, being a legendary vocalist, the guy, he had a voice from hell, and also he was so fucking casual, and then he just delivered hell all time after time. Remarkable. Yeah, we got shit to learn. That's
Oh yeah. We will never learn.
No, not like that. No. But we are staying off the beaten path, because last time we did this stuff together, we sort of played stuff that might be a bit unexpected when it comes to us, stuff we like, but that is different, I guess. And And today, have we got a full agenda of random stuff.
I think all of us, I'm not really sure what you will show us, Neff, but at least for me and the good doctor here, I mean, there will be some peculiar shit.
Yeah, it's you guys.
Hopefully.
You guys make me feel awfully mainstream, but I really, I mean, at some point, I am just, an average Joe when when push comes to shove. So the stuff that I will play might be unexpected, but it is, most people know about it. It's just, yeah, whatever. I will put us into this other mode. Ooh. This is.
I mean, I still have no idea how that kind of magic works.
No, it's fantastic, right? But I gonna need also, you guys need to help me to, should I play something from a certain point or whatever, then you will have to let me know. But I will, the first thing to discuss
Is politics. So, doctor.
exactly. I mean, what could possibly be more interesting these days than, us getting into a fight over politics? Why not? Or
Yeah,
no.
I mean, now I can see you're on the left side, I'm on the right side, and the doctor's in the middle.
Well-
I mean, this will be great.
There we have it. Well, I guess that's symptomatic, or I don't know. I push a button here, and here's spaghetti.
Yeah, that is
But
fine.
surprisingly, it's not me who chose spaghetti.
Exactly.
No, but old ropes and spaghetti. What's the difference really?
Exactly. What are we looking here?
Yeah.
At?
So this is a duo from the States called Pedestrian Deposit, and the album is called Dyer's Hand, and it's classified in the experimental scene as more or less genreless, except that it's experimental.
I mean, a genre is so mainstream, right? So I mean, if you can put a genre on it, like like the crowd pleaser, mall wave. I mean, mall wave. I was so offended last time because I think everybody is already into that. That's just like a baseline music.
Oh yeah.
But now you're digging deeper, obviously.
Well, I'm
Finally.
sorry. I promise the third time I will just, it will be nothing. No, so this is John and Shannon, and they like collect stuff from the street and from the shore. They find raw wood, fiber, metal, and springs, and then they create instruments and connects them into different kind of synthesizers and programs, and then they create this. Well, you will soon hear. It's not for everyone.
No shit.
No shit. Do you have a particular moment in this song that you want me to start from? Should I start from like 1 minute and 6 seconds into it? Should that work?
Okay, so you don't need to play it for a long time, but a disclaimer: what you will hear now is not what the rest of the album sounds like. This is just what it can sound like. But yes, sure, jump in 1 minute and play for 10-15 seconds of the first song.
Crow Theory.
Yes, and then 1 minute in.
Okay, surely.
I am sorry, people.
Very easy listening there.
Yeah, so again, this is not what the whole album sounds like. This is
This is like the intro.
yeah,
This is the hit. I think it's a single.
Yeah, this is the radio hit. It
Yes.
felt familiar.
no, so it does have a bit more structure on the other albums. Yeah, I would love to hear ours. Well, don't we all? No, but it's more of like it's super duper artsy, and that's why I think you, Neff, would enjoy it. And also like these things that they found on the street or around the shore, they also are very symbolic, so they are created in a certain way, and when they play it, and it's just chaotic beauty in some way, not maybe that particular point of the song, but and they, they do have bass lines, and there are actually some guitars almost in some songs, and I just like that. I guess the bigger or the deeper question is, or is, music can be whatever you want, whatever music is for you, right?
Yeah, I
So
totally agree.
someone would call Iron Maiden like, oh, that's just fucking noise. How can you call that music? And then you come to literal noise, and people like me and some other like, oh yeah, well, I understand. So it's. I didn't play it to get people to really like it, but to just explore that music and art, for that matter, is so subjective, and I think it's very interesting.
I agree. I come from the Bible Belt of Sweden. It's like I don't know, the Midwest if you're in the US. It didn't work for me. But I come from there. But in the where there's a lot of manure, there will also be a lot of stuff rising from that shit. In the mid 80s, one of the first really extreme bands from Sweden, Gay Yanks, came from there. And I think in 86 they invited Napalm Death over to Sweden, and they did a gig, and the newspaper afterwards was convinced that whatever transpired on that stage could hardly be qualified as music by any degree. So stuff changes, and I mean, of course, in 86 you had like the final countdown and that stuff was going on. So of course Napalm Death was a little bit further down the road of extreme shit. But today, I mean, it's I wouldn't say that Napalm Death is mainstream, but I mean, you don't really become fearful when someone is growling. So when we push the boundaries all the time.
Yeah.
Is this album, which I by the way I never heard, do they have? Is it mostly ambient or?
Yes,
or...
they are like if you need to I guess they are some kind of ambient electronic experimental noise.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And like Fayan says, it actually, I mean, if you look at David Lynch, fucking genius guy when it comes to soundscapes and stuff, but he really used this white noise stuff for one of the episodes in the last season of Twin Peaks, that weird black and white episode. You guys, have you seen it?
No, I don't think. Well, I think I saw a clip that refers to that.
Extremely unsettling
area,
episode.
Yes.
There you go. And by the way, I think this is something you should quote on your newest album, Neph.
Mm-hmm.
What here? Actually, my born-again Christian mom understands Netherberg.
Oh, okay.
I think that's a selling point also.
I mean, there's, I think we might need to work a little bit on our concept. But, we sort of dig deep into the skin and then we transform from within, maybe.
But yeah, so just to conclude this, I mean, music can be art, can be whatever you consider art and music. So
yeah,
and this was one of the extreme cases, especially this song. So
yeah, but it's fun, and I haven't still listened to Caretaker, but I'm definitely intrigued. But I've been diving deeper and deeper into the digital swamp that is, all of these subgenres. And I found one project called 1900s, 1900, which is like retrograde ambient music. It really sounds like shit that was recorded in early last century, but it's completely modern. I mean, stuff like that, you can't dream it up. Somebody has to create it. I'll share it at some point. Really cool stuff.
Yes, please do.
Retrograde Pure Amnesia is also an album with Caretaker.
Of course it is. I mean, it must be really hard for that other band that is striving to overtake Caretaker, but really hasn't got the traction because their songs are not hits in the same way.
So shall we go to the second one?
We shall.
Well, how have you shuffled these now, Neff?
Actually, now it's going to be one of mine, then it's Walter, and then it's back to you.
Oh, perfect.
If things work as the way they should, which, But Ilse, I have to say, I think that goes also for Wormwood. I think our music is, we do melodic stuff, and I think we differ a lot from the harsher stuff like Bosom or even Behemoth and stuff like that, in the sense that it's more melody based. So I think it can work for Born Again Christians and whoever. What I just hope is that we also at some point have a glass of wine and read the lyrics and maybe
and talk about all of the Christian undertones we have in our lyrics.
Yeah, or not, or whatever. But I am of the principle that as long as people, decide for themselves and stick by their choices and live with the consequences, fine. I'm existentialist in that sense. So, but okay, let's see here then. I will, and this is true for most people who've been hanging out at my place, is that at some point provoke me enough with beer and alcohol, and I will crawl down the rabbit hole that is Swedish pop music. And
you have been known to do that.
It has happened, and
for good and bad.
For various reasons, some people never come back. When they've been here, and then they all of a sudden are very busy for the rest of their life. So there I am with all my pop suggestions. No, but Swedish pop, I think, is underestimated and also misunderstood, because it's easy to think that it's ABBA, but it's really a much darker music normally, with a lot of angst, like Kent, Brother Daniel. These bands are very noir, and what I'm gonna play now is a band called John Ossie.
Oh yeah, he's Swedish. I forgot that.
Yeah, and it's John and Oscar. And Oscar is known as Ossie, so John Ossie is actually John and Oscar. But now there's a third guy on keyboard, but he's not mentioned. Well, I don't know what to do there.
Who likes the keyboard player anyways?
Well, said it's the Caretaker fan. I think that the Swedish, like the pop phenomena, it really, if you dare to dig there, you'll find a lot of dark and really, interesting music that I think resonates, and it's not so far from the harsher aspects of music. It's just different instrumentation once again. But John Ossie is a fairly modern version of it, and it's a fun concept in the sense it's just a drummer and a guitarist and vocalist, so it's just them and now a keyboardist. So in that sense it reminds me of an Americana band called Two Gallants, which I also think is really cool. And when you take a distorted acoustic guitar and just a drum kit and you put a lot of PA behind it, it's gonna be massive, just like White Stripes. So in that sense, it's really scaled down, so it becomes powerful.
Less is more.
Less is more. But I'll play something a bit. I'd say it's pretty poppy, but whatever.
Well, I have both our streams up, so I will be able to hear.
It's coming now.
forever. Go travel the world, here and night, on a dirty road, over a highway, speeding light.
Yeah, it's yeah.
I couldn't help to notice that you played this a bit longer than my previous song. You know.
You told me to keep that short, but it's also due to humanitarian reasons. He has to.
I have a very, very short story. Speaking of Napalm Death and you playing my stuff for 1 second, which is justified. When I was younger, we were in school. Maybe I was in 4th grade. We were supposed to play a song from a band that you like and then translate the lyrics into Swedish. So I was listening to Lepasa Cliffoth with Therion, and I had a song
course you
called
were.
Arrival of the Darkest Queen. But that album had been my big brother had borrowed it, but then his friend took it back, so I didn't have any song. So he only had Napalm Death at home. So I took Napalm Death to school, and they played it.
It's Scum.
Yes, Scum. Yes, they played it for like 5 seconds, and I'm like, very good, Georg. And now it's my heart will go on with it.
I have a similar painful story. Me and the guitarist of my band at that time, Benighted, we went to the same class, and we also had this, show and tell fucking shit. But I think it was a bit later on, so maybe gymnasium, whatever. I played Napalm Death, he played fucking Morbid Angel, and afterwards everybody said that, well, Morbid Angel is way more melodic and nice. Well, fuck
From
people.
perspective.
Yeah, what? I mean, what a fucking knife stab to my back, right? Yeah. So whatever. Yeah, play your melodic shit then, and I'll play my hard to swallow stuff.
And speaking of Jon Ossi, I to be fair, I've only heard like the biggest or the most famous songs with Jon Ossi, and I haven't heard this, I think, and it has that Swedish melancholy,
Yeah,
it has that angst, and that I didn't understand it when I was younger because it was everything pop equals shit, right?
yeah.
So I'm not saying that I understand everything, but I understand it more now, at least.
Well,
Yeah.
the little I heard is very pleasant. It does remind me of Brother Daniel.
There is hints of it.
And this kind of stuff, yes. The little I know about Swedish pop, indeed. But it's pretty nice. I would like to hear
You're
more
welcome
of
to
it.
my place, and I will
There we go.
pour
Yes.
alcohol into both of you, and then you will never come back. But I will at least play you every pop song you never wanted to hear.
How can I say no?
Oh, look at the time.
Oh, I'm so fucking busy. Well, yeah, but there is stuff there to be discovered, and it's a big genre. I never liked it either until I was single and realized that if you want to hang out with goth chicks, you gotta understand Brother Daniel. And so I found both. I found the music pleasant, and the company in which I could listen to this music also pleasant. So that helped.
Fair enough. I mean, I don't think many romantic situations starts with quoting Rancid Amputation with the Cannibal Corpse.
But if it does, however, it's going to be memorable.
That is a story. That is a story.
That is a story. That
So,
will get
Doctor,
to
how
that.
did you and Manami?
Well, I was playing Sperm Swamp, in particular their effort Diarrheic Polka.
Oh, look here.
Stuff
I
is
recognize-
happening.
I recognize this. So take it away, Doctor.
Look at this beautiful artwork.
Yeah, it is fucking beautiful.
That's really beautiful. The artist we are talking about here is Jukka Rintamäki. She's a person born in Finland, but he moved in Sweden many years ago. He's a musician, which I have the privilege of being friends with, and he's a pretty well-established musician. He lives with that. He lives with doing music. He does music for high-profile video games like Battlefield,
Oh yeah, that's the guy.
for example. Yes, and he got commissioned. He works with that, and he also was the guitarist in Silver Bullet. So they were touring. It's been doing a lot of stuff. But the stuff he does by himself for his solo projects, that's the stuff I like the most with him. And it's admittedly probably the less known of his production. And he has a different names for different projects he does by himself. But this one is just by his name, Yuka, and this is called the Los Fast One, I believe. Which is a solo album he did in I don't know 6-7 years ago. It's mostly based on cello, some percussion, everything acoustic, everything done by him in his little studio. We can just listen to a little bit of it.
And the song you suggested was Gammel Gammel, right?
Yes.
Any part of it, or should I just go from the beginning?
You can start from the beginning.
Happily do that.
Let's see if this is on the list.
That's fine.
It sounds like almost like progressive classical music, whatever that might be.
Yeah, he uses a lot of different instruments. In the whole album is pretty different. This is kind of a more intense one. There are very slow moments and some ambient stuff again. Even though the whole album is acoustic, but he has done a lot of different things. I just want to, I think I would like to recommend him to pretty much anyone, just to try.
Does he classify his music as a certain genre?
This one, I believe, as you said, it's not really classifiable. It's probably called, something like modern or contemporary music or sorts. I have no idea.
Because this is the
in
stuff...
other projects he did. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Other projects and other albums, they configure way more clearly in some genre. He did one, for example, in which is basically dark synth pop.
I like the sound of that.
Yes, he is an extremely talented musician. Really gifted.
This was really cool.
360 degrees. So a lot of his stuff is also on Spotify.
And it sounds very cinematic. You can also, because the Battlefield music is very cinematic.
It's extremely cinematic. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah. He can go all the way there.
It really creates like a moving picture in your head when you listen to it.
This guy should play at Fasching, actually. I mean, this is the stuff you want to hear at the jazz club. Well performed, well staged, sound engineered.
He also writes a lot of music for theater. Yes.
Some people just have it. I don't like him. I never met him, but I can't stand people with that level of awesome.
We should just hang out a bit. He lives in Söder.
I think I met him, but I don't remember the.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
I don't remember it, and after hearing this, I want to meet him.
Yeah. He has a treasure in his mind. He knows everything about music, about any synth. It's one of those you can play a song. It says, "Oh, this sound comes from this synth, which is built in this year, and he used that
because I remember like when we were in the beginning of our synthwave journey or something, and we played something, or you sent it to him, and he was like, yeah, this is the Corey X5.
Yeah.
1000.
Yes, please check him out.
I just need to. Someone wrote here today. I posted a Wormwood song, and someone said, "Stop sending garbage, you psychopaths." So it helps me to weed out idiots. You know, that's the story of my life, calling my music garbage. So you should keep that person, because that was most people say. So
Yes, and being garbage is a lifestyle, and you gotta embrace it. You know the story. My first band rejected by the leading Swedish metal magazine in 1992, and that's been my story ever since. And that's okay.
well, you know, the most underground thing I've done. My first band was called Unknown, and no one has ever heard of us. So there you go.
There we go. There we go.
And hello also to Jakob Björnfot.
Hello, Jakob. And
Hello.
Snorderblade. I was banned from playing music in school 4 times. Yeah,
Right.
I mean,
Me too. I used to lock
Life
myself in our cafeteria and play to Megatherion.
and Alphatraz, I got your version of Saturnine Ancestry, and I'm very pleased, and it's really cool. You freeform interpret stuff, and I really appreciate that. So just sorry I haven't answered your email, but it's super cool. Keep it going, and it's always cool to write music that somebody else can make their version of. It's really cool. So just wanted to say that as well. Yes,
What do we have next?
Let's
Next.
proceed.
we shall proceed. Don't stress me. I'm old and fragile.
I think this will be the least artsy shit that I have.
You think?
No, this is the most artsy shit. Maybe this might be even artsier than the one before.
Yeah, because I felt you strayed too much into mainstream. So this should correct that, right?
Finally. Nice.
Finally, something unlistenable.
Okay, so this is called this specific genre. This has a genre at least. It's called lowercase music. It is extreme minimalistic ambient. And this specific one, made by Steve Rodden, Forms of Paper, was actually created for it was an art exhibition at the library. So as you can see, so he took discarded books, and you can see one page here, and then he did this punch holes. He had folded papers, did the punch holes, so it created this repetitive pattern. And these patterns were used to create music. So he set up around like 8 speakers in the library. And then, there were different like electronic manipulations that, they were sounds of pages turning and rubbing pages and brushed against each other and stuff. And it played for a month at the library. And then he took all of the information and made it into... I don't think we will hear anything because it's so... it is the extreme opposite of what we just heard. I'm not sure we will be able to hear. So this song is 1 hour long only, so that's not too bad. So just jump into wherever. I'm not sure if we will be able to hear anything, but let's try.
Let's see. I jump here. I fucking love this part. I fucking love this part.
Yeah, I'm sorry for...
No, you're not sorry. Don't you even try. You're not sorry. Don't you even try.
I think that 10 seconds of nothingness works. But again, so I mean, the point of lowercase music or whatever, if that's even a genre, is just this is like an art project turned music. It is. He found a way to convey the information of this folded paper that we're playing continuously throughout the month, and then um, and to have really good headphones and listen to this, it's. I'm not saying like it is transcendent by any means, but it is. You seldom listen to music that requires such effort to hear something.
Yeah, and also it I think it raises the question also. I mean, what is music? What should it stem from? Should it come from hello Tobias? Should it come from the genius sitting? Oh, I'm gonna convey this, or can music come from any source and be interpreted or orchestrated through whatever, and we end up with something? And I think it still has merit if it serves a purpose. And actually, this is not unpleasant to listen to. Not at all. Actually, it's actually kind of cool. And it would be impossible 30 years to do this.
It will, and I will actually also. When this gets released, we might have in the show notes a link to. He actually wrote a small paper, or it's like a PDF 10 papers of how he created this music and the reasoning behind it, and it's quite the interesting read. It's more than just the alien minimalistic sound you hear in the back.
I'll go ahead and push this even further and say that in general with contemporary art, it's a lot about knowing the context and how it's being created and what it means. And that's why stuff like The Caretaker or the actual good contemporary artists in whatever music, visuals, they can be extremely good. They can say something very important, but it requires also an effort from the person who listen or sees the art nowadays. So of course everybody sees a Caravaggio, says this is wonderful, because everybody can understand at least a big part of it. But with contemporary art, sorry,
some music needs an explanation why it's
exactly, and a lot of modern contemporary stuff, I believe, is bullcrap. Exactly because it doesn't have the whole soil beneath the whole construction, the whole thing. But I don't know. Yes, I think this is very interesting.
I mean, I wouldn't be able to defend this kind of music, or the one that I played, Pedestrian, what I played before, to someone like, oh, this is really bad. It sounds like shit. I'm like, yeah.
But then again, you don't have to defend it to anyone because it's fucking art.
I know, but it's also, I kind of want to be able to defend what I like,
Yeah, well, explain it at least. Yeah, I
Yes.
understand that notion, but we all been there. I mean, we listened to music that was equally ununderstandable 30 years ago. Nobody understood Bolt Thrower except a few others, and it's the same now. This is where music pushes the boundary to where, for instance, painted art has been for ages. I mean, Picasso could paint photorealistic when he was 16, so he progressed to paint abstract cubes, and most people would say, well, he can only paint cubes. No, he can paint the other stuff, and it's too easy, so he has progressed. And I think there is similarities, of course, to when doing obvious hit music is not interesting to you if you have this palette of options. So I think this is just music. I guess this is what jazz has been doing, at least the more complicated jazz has been doing for ages, actually. It's just that now there are so many people who can do stuff completely off. they don't need approval for anyone. They don't need musical theory or whatever. They can just decide that, I'm gonna use holes in a paper. That's gonna be my partiture or my notes, and I'm gonna render something from that makes only sense in that context and only for those people who give a fuck. But I can afford to do that today. You couldn't in the 60s because you weren't
But,
able.
But also, if you do that kind of stuff, you need to have, you need really to sit on the shoulder of the giants that came
Yes,
before you.
yes.
It needs to be a construction, and you cannot just be 16 and say, "Yeah, I want to be artsy fartsy," and I jump into a thing because I think
It will
it's
suck.
experimental,
Yeah.
it's
Well,
artsy.
I
That will
mean,
suck.
you can also be named Yoko Ono and think what you're doing is changing people.
Yeah, but it didn't. But it's this is why Picasso, because he really could. I mean, I've seen everybody
Yes.
has. He could paint photorealistic, but it didn't give him anything. And hence, when he paints a blue cube, it is not just a blue cube. It's a blue cube that is, based on the fact that he could paint whatever. But if you
Yes.
only paint a blue cube, then you're gonna be,
Yes,
yeah.
it must be a part of an evolution.
Yes. So yeah, I understand it, and it's a good correction you did there, Walter, because you can't just take the matter at hand and say this is I did this because I can't do anything. It's
Yes.
like learning how to blast beat, but you can't make a 4-stroke.
That's exactly what it is.
So yeah, I've actually met such musicians who can only actually do blast beats, but can't do a basic drum rhythm because they never learned that, and then the blast beat makes no sense to me, at least.
Before we go to your Neff, let's see here, Patrick Olson. Well, you can tell nice music mainstream, undescribable sounds for hours. Didn't say I didn't like it. It's just so different. Yeah, I didn't play these two to change minds or anything, but it's like I was pretty narrow-minded, whatever you call it, for quite some time. I only listen to this metal and this kind of other genre, but there are so much more. There's even library exhibition music. Who knew,
There
right?
is actually
And,
Lowercase music.
lowercase music.
So it's just fun. I love exploring this kind of very obscure and and I found a good way to find this kind of music. I have my tricks.
The internet, it's a dangerous place.
No, I go to the library.
Of course you do. Of course you do. But I think also, to me, this is very educational in the sense that I really you guys helped me sort of broaden my horizons quite a bit, actually, and because I try to really find new stuff, but I'm conservative as fuck when it comes to this, and whenever I think I do something off the beaten path, it's still very mainstream, but this is like off the beaten track. I mean, like Broadway, and you have off Broadway, and then you have off Broadway, and I think at the off Broadway is where it happens. The stuff which black metalists find too experimental. I guess that's where the future is. At least to me, that's interesting. That's avant-garde. Really cool.
Yeah. So moving on, I think do we have time for two more? Your seconds.
Yeah, we have two more. Yeah. Okay, so here comes a confession then.
So your other streams haven't been a confession?
Well, yes.
I think Spice Girls is considered not off the beaten path.
It's
true.
Well, I would say today in the in the extreme metal domain where we are, being a huge Spice Girl fan requires a certain, I don't know.
That would have gone into the guilty pleasure episode.
Yeah, well, yes.
I think didn't Flesh God Apocalypse in their newest song called whatever, I don't remember, but they are singing from a Britney Spears song. My loneliness is killing me.
Oh, okay.
Part. And there's a female singing it, and I hate Italy even more now.
Oh, well,
You are welcome.
now this became very, very, sensitive. So I'm going to be also culturally unsensitive and proclaim the following. This is Danny Vera, and Danny Vera, I actually really like Americana, or even the country, the darker side of country music. But
Yeah.
to be honest, I have to say some of the best country Americana musicians are from Holland or the Netherlands, like Danny Vera.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, who would have known? But they actually have a fairly big scene there. I think it might stem from, the US is not US, didn't just happen. People migrated there. And I think there is something with their folk music that actually might stem, or there is some connection between Holland and the US. It really doesn't matter. Danny Vera is an extremely cool musician. There are American, you have Hank Williams III, you have Bob Wayne, a lot of these, that are like underground country musicians that do really, sometimes even satanic stuff, sort of black metal for the people who live in mobile homes. But Danny Vera, he does, everything from pretty awful country to really, really good, dark, suggestive music. And I'm gonna play a song actually, which is a cover, because and it's a Rihanna song, which he does to what I think that Trent Reznor, what Cash did to the Nine Inch Nails song actually. So Danny Vera actually does a rendition of this song that made me for the first time realize that it has fucking awesome lyrics. So humor me and see what happens here.
Take a breath, take a deep, calm yourself. He said to me, if you play for keeps. Take the gun and count to 3. I'm sweating now, I'm moving slow, no time to think. My turn to go, and you can see my heart beating. You can see it through my chest. I'm terrified, but I'm not leaving. I know I must pass this test, so just pull the trigger.
All right, I'm not gonna play the entire song. Danny,
That's really good.
Danny Vera is a motherfucker. He has a voice, but also he has this vision where he makes it so fucking cool. Like David Lynch, Quentin Tarantino cool. He just has it. And there's something about Dutch musicians. I'm a huge Golden Earring fan, which, might come as a surprise. I really love it. And Golden Earring, they've done stuff like Twilight Zone and Radar Love, stuff like that. But they are the oldest still running band in the world. They released their first album 50 years ago. And
That's something.
10 years ago, they did 4 Decades in Satan's Service, a compilation. And they are really sinister. But not only sinister, but there's something about Dutch music. But Danny Vera, I will post on links, really, really cool stuff. And yeah, I know. Golden, because one of the guys got, I don't know, one of these aging diseases, so they stopped. But fucking
silly
amazing.
aging diseases. That's pretty good.
Yeah, but I mean, if if you'd been doing it for 50 years, eventually, yeah, ALS, yeah. But Danny, super cool. Not everything. Sometimes he, falls into, stuff that is too, country for me. But sometimes he just does this shit, when he renders a song in this coolness, which we all would love. Is that a Gretsch guitar? It is a Gretsch guitar, right? A Gretsch
Yes.
guitar will always make you look also 10% cooler, I think. Oh well, so that's
I never heard about this dude, but as Tobias said, I love dark country, and for the also last couple of years, I've been leaning into the dark country, like really melancholic, just like melancholic Swedish folk music.
yeah, exactly.
It goes the same way to the Americana dark melancholic. It is something that it works.
It really does, and I mean, folk music. I mean, it all has its roots. There are different, sound progressions or chord progressions that just, it's relatable even though it's different. It's really, really something. So Danny is a for me is a big push. Check him out. So okay. So you, Walter, will do the honors of setting the stage for the the last thingy here, and let's see.
Yeah.
And
So
I-
depending on which one, yes, that's perfect.
I don't even
Okay.
know what to say. So
Okay, you know what? Just play it, and then we talk.
Of course.
Jesus fucking Christ. Did you get your fucking flowers to grow?
I need more beer.
Ellis!
Yes. Okay. What was that?
That was if Vangelis was fucking trees and plants and flowers, and he thought music would help them grow.
Yeah, and Jarre found something else than interesting.
All right.
Actually,
okay.
it didn't sound so bad.
Yes, I really love this album. This is
It sounds like you need to have an experience to be able to enjoy this.
not necessarily. I listen to this album a lot, even when sober. Sometimes.
Sometimes.
But where
Yes.
did you start? Sober or unsober? When you
I was completely sober. In fact, it was by chance that I stumbled upon this, and I really liked it. And then I researched what was it. This guy is called Mort Garson, and he is one of the absolute pioneers of synth music. He started in,
I thought you would say the pioneers of plant growing music.
well, maybe also he's Canadian, and he started in the mid '60s, and he was one of the very, very early adopters of the Moog synths, and he started composing all this sort of weird, completely experimental new shit. And he had this long career up until the 90s even. This one is, I think, his most famous work, Plantasia 76. But he did other stuff before, a lot of other stuff before, including one thing called Lucifer Black Mass, which is a early 70s satanic synth music,
Of course it
which
is.
is, of course, it is.
That sounds good.
It is.
Why
It's
not?
really
Why not
interesting.
satanic plant music?
Yes. Why not?
Uh,
Yeah. What do you think about that?
I think we have a big span in the music that we are mentioning, but I think it's actually all of it is it's pretty cool actually. I think and to be honest, I think maybe this is the most mainstream because everybody could listen to this.
I think
more or
it
less.
is. Yes. I think it is. Yes.
Well, it's warm earth music for plants and the people who loves them.
Exactly. There is a book about tractors and the men who love them. So I think there is a book for certain people, and then there's this album for other people. Yeah, but look at them. They really, I don't know. They seem very harmonic.
I mean, I'm not flaming this. I thought it sounded pretty good actually.
I also think it sounded pretty good.
It's
actually.
just very, very.
It's very whimsical.
Yeah, the fucking 60s kumbaya, fuck trees and put plants in your asshole kind of vibe isn't really my thing, but
You
But-
you would love this album.
yeah, I'm sure I mean, I will listen to it. So no.
Yeah, I actually will too. I think. I think we can need nourishment when we are like working from a distance, sitting there at home. I mean, this could actually be my working soundtrack for tomorrow.
Well,
That's good.
You need to smoke yourself to the point of being a plant to get into it. Yes,
Maybe.
but yeah, or maybe this. There is this book, a Swedish book from the same era, which is said, if you're gonna ban drugs, you gotta ban nature. And there's this happy man with a big mushroom. Om du ska förbjuda knarket måste du förbjuda naturen. So I mean, the 70s and the late 60s, it gave us a lot of appreciation for what the earth can give us, and also this is when you grow your whatever, and you want it to grow nicely, then you play Plantasia for it. Makes total sense to me.
Yes.
Asia, Jesus fucking Christ!
Uh,
I didn't.
This was
And yes, and please read the titles of the songs of this album.
absolutely. I will on YouTube. I will post the links to the stuff that we've been playing also. But this was fun because this really broadened the horizons, at least for me. I don't know about the people in the chat. I think most of them just died. But I mean, this is also, that happens.
How more obscure can we go? That's the point.
I feel I have really betrayed you guys by not going obscure at all. I play, mainstream Swedish pop and mainstream dark country from the Netherlands, and you guys sort of really dug deeper. So I've got some work to do.
It's okay as long as we lose as many viewers as possible. Everything goes.
I think
Yeah, I
I
mean-
got that covered.
Yeah, I mean, the only viewers should be us having, clicking on the YouTube link so we can listen to the music while we're playing something. So those should be the only viewers.
I think okay, so here we have good comments. It's a good day to die. Okay, yes. So mission accomplished. I only die for my government. That's also good. Oh fuck! I die for the government. Die for the government. Shit. Oh fuck. We need to go. We need to. Oh, this is what we should do.
Oh no!
Oh.
Oh,
We should assign a genre to each of us that we don't like, where we need to find 2 songs that are good.
that we like. I'm in.
I'm also in, and I assign
Doctor reggaeton.
no
Oh no, Jesus.
9. You go with punk, and you
Oh,
you
okay,
you
fine.
Walter, you go with reggae.
Reggaeton. No reggaeton.
Yeah, reggaeton.
That's my absolute nemesis.
This is perfect.
This is fine. You only need to find 2 songs that are okay-ish.
Damn it. Okay.
And 9.
What about you, Neff?
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
that's
this
up
is
to
your
you.
choice.
That's up to you guys. I can't invite, you know. Oh,
Lowercase music.
lowercase music. That's a really, really narrow. I mean, give me something that I can work with at least.
I'm sure the good doctor will come up with something very insidious.
I might have to think this out, but
Yeah, give me a
Yes.
genre, and in some weeks we will play two of our least hated songs from that genre.
And the stream will just look like this.
watch us suffer.
Anti-flag.
Can we couple that with physical self-harm?
Speaking of nothing, I just need to show a photo of what I didn't play today. Just because anti-flag, but there are other flags, and I need to show this.
This one was from Germany in the 40s.
19th century marching songs. That's amazing.
I would love it. But actually, let me show. Look, it's Moby in a black flag shirt. I'm just saying.
Moby is pretty great. So
It's pretty fucking awesome. That would have been my third, not very, underground.
he's a millionaire with millions upon millions upon millions on Spotify.
But he used to be very miserable, so he's got that going for him.
I mean, his ambient hotel ambient series is amazing.
It's amazing.
And
He
then what
is
I
amazing,
do
actually.
live hotel ambient was really good.
I hate him for
Some improvisations also. I like him.
he's amazing. Wasn't he originally like more or less doing punk music? I think so, but American punk.
His first album, I tried to listen to a few seconds, and it's literally liquid shit. It's all of the noises that you think the 90s sounds like into one synthesizers, and then just pressing them all the time for an whole album.
I had a similar feeling because I got into Ministry when they were industrial, when Song 69 came out, so I sort of dug deeper back into well, maybe they were even cool. No, they were not even cooler before that. They sucked the ass. But that's 30 years old information, so maybe I would appreciate it now. Who knows? But maybe not.
But all in all, it's been a success. We listened to some all kinds of different music.
Yeah, and it's time to go on and rot in the free world. But
Looking forward to listen to some of the stuff you suggested.
Oh yeah.
yeah, and Dito, it's been a privilege as always, and we'll do this again some point in a not
course.
too distant future. Cheers.
Thanks, Neff. Cheers.
Cheers. Puss puss.